Hi, George here, and I want to help answer that burning question on everybody's lips, and that is, should you upgrade to Photoshop Elements 2024? I also want to show you a little bit more about my new Photo Coach program for Photoshop Elements, but more about that later on. Now, this question of upgrading really comes down to a couple of different issues. The first one is, how long has it been since you did an upgrade? And that's an important one to consider, because every upgrade has some updates in it that are kind of in behind the scenes, improvements in the programming, things that make it run better with current versions of your software operating system, current version of Windows, current version of Macintosh. So if it's been a few years, then I recommend upgrading anyway. Normally, I think it's a good idea to upgrade your programs every 3 to 5 years. So if your version of Photoshop Elements is, say, 2018 or older, you probably should upgrade just because it's getting old at this point and really does need to be refreshed. Now, if you have a newer version of Photoshop Elements, then it comes down to what's included in the program. Is it worth it for you to do that upgrade? And the upgrades are not cheap. They're about $80. It's a $100 program, $80 for the upgrade. So it's not much of a discount for the upgrade. So let's take a look at that. I've gone through and I've carefully checked all the different new features in the versions going clear back to version 15. And I'll mention the ones that are important. Back in version 15, we got the Adjust Facial Features tool. And that's up here under the Enhance menu. And right here, great tool, but I'm sure everybody has this one already. We also got layer groups and layer colors over here, right-hand side. Just some examples here of layer groups. It's a real nice way to organize your layers panel, so I love having that, but that's way back in version 15. Hopefully you have a newer version than that. Version 18, the main one in version 18 was open closed eyes, and that's never worked out very well for me, so it's nothing that I would consider a necessary upgrade. There were several upgrades in the guided edits if you like those. That included the replace background as one, auto selection brush as one, the shape overlay effect. Not bad, but not really necessary features. Version 2019, a real disappointment. They were just copying some of my projects here in my 2018 course and doing those as guided edits. And that's about all they did on version 19. They really didn't care about that version at all. Version 2020, though, that was a good version. There's some really nice upgrades in version 2020. The pattern brush and guided edit, nice tool. Let's take a look at that. And this right down over here in the fun edits section, and allows you to quickly kind of brush on all kinds of different shapes, fun things added into your picture. It also would automatically block out your foreground subject for you. Real fun little tool. But more importantly than that, back here to the advanced mode, and that is in Enhance. And it was in 2020 that we got the colorized photo. This is a great tool. I know a lot of people love this one. Really worth it. So if you're in version 18 or 19 or earlier, you may want to upgrade just because the newer versions have that colorized photo option. Great tool. Also coming in version 2020 was the smooth skin. And this is really useful if you're doing any kind of photo editing on faces. It really helps to smooth out those faces. Also, if you're doing photo restoration, really nice tool for that. Again, very important upgrade. Probably the most important upgrade that came in 2020 was up here under the Select menu, and that was the Select Subject right there. Again, very useful tool. I know a lot of people love this when the Select Subject came in 2020, so if you have a version earlier than 2020, you may want to go ahead and upgrade at this point so you get that Select Subject. Coming here in 2024, Adobe also added in Select Background and Select Sky, so it's even more useful than it was just last year. So really nice tools in here. It can save you a lot of time making selections. And as you know from my projects here on YouTube, I do a lot of selections. A lot of what I do is based on selections, and this can really speed up the process. 2021 didn't have that much great that came in. It had one new thing that I thought was worthwhile, and that's in the guided edit. And it's under special edits, and it's the perfect landscape. This was improved again in a later version. Very useful tool if you would just want to have help on improving landscapes. So if you're doing a lot of landscape photography, you may want to go ahead and upgrade to that. If you don't have at least version 2021, that was a good update right there. A few things came in version 2022. There was this perfect pet thing over here. I didn't find this that workable. Not really a great upgrade, but there were a couple of good upgrades. Let's go back over to the advanced mode here. And the first one was image warp. And to see how that works, let's go over here to another picture. There we go. I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller in here. There we are. And you find image warp right down here. It's kind of a bent little grid. Click on that. And this allows you to warp your image just by pulling on these different control handles. So you can now make your image match a curved surface, for instance, something which you couldn't do previously. There we go. You can do this kind of thing with text, but you couldn't do this kind of thing here with images. So really nice tool for doing some very fancy and creative warping effects on images. Probably the best thing that came in here in version 2022 was this image warp. We also got artistic effects in 2022. Let's take a fast look at that. That's in the effects section, which is right here, and artistic. There were some more effects added in here in version 2024. So if you like artistic effects, then you may want to take a look at the 2024 to see what has been added in here on this. There's our classic effects. There's the artistic. And also new here in 2024 is the color match, which is a very useful tool. I'll be doing a video just on how to really get the most out of this one in just a couple of days or so. We'll be doing that real soon. Now in 2023, there wasn't that much that was really worthwhile. Some guided edits got some updates. There were some more collage templates. Moving elements was put in, but I think the moving elements stuff is just kind of a gimmick. And a little search box in guided edits was added in, but there's not that much in guided edits, so having a search box right here doesn't really give you that much more. So not much happening in 2023. But 2024, again, quite a few nice things coming in here in version 2024. Of course, there's this new interface look, which also has that dark mode to it. That's Preferences, General, and it's right here, Light and Dark Mode. There are those two new auto selections I mentioned, the background and sky. There's that new Add Text Guided Edit, which I think is not that useful. Over in Quick Mode, really nice new feature over here, and that's this Quick Actions section. You can find out at the bottom down there, Quick Actions. There's your adjustments, effects, and there's your Quick Actions in here. Real nice addition to Quick Mode. Makes it much more useful. And of course, as I just mentioned, the color match over here, again, very useful new tool. As also on Create, we have this new photo reel, which I'll do a separate video all about that here pretty soon. Nice little quick and fast, easy slideshow tool that's designed for social media. Nicely done, works out well. Could be better. There are a few things I'd like to see added to that, but it's a nice little tool if you're doing a lot of social media. My recommendations are, if your program or your version of Elements is older than about 5 years, I'd go ahead and get a new version of that just to keep things current in the behind-the-scenes programming so that it runs well with the current versions of Windows or with the current versions of the Mac. And aside from that, I think anything older than 2020 is really missing out on some very good features that came in version 2020. The pattern brush, colorized photo, smooth skin, and the select subject were all great new tools coming in at that point. So if you're older than 2020, again, I'd recommend doing an upgrade over to the new 2024. Now, the nice thing about all the new versions is, of course, they contain everything from previous versions, so you don't lose anything by upgrading, but you do gain quite a bit. Our best 3 years here on new features were back in version 15. Great new features then. Version 2020, a lot of good new features there. And I also like this new version 2024. I think they've done a lot to make this program much more professional and much more useful at this point. Okay, I said I would be telling you a bit more about my new tool on how to use Photoshop Elements. Let me take you over there. And that's right here. This is a new site I've designed primarily to go along with the new membership program, which is not quite yet set up on my HTGPhoto YouTube channel. Once that is, this will be a perk for being a member, $5 a month member. But until that's totally set up, I am giving you access to this with one price for a lifetime membership. And the two main things that we have in here are the PSE Coach, the Photoshop Elements Coach, and step-by-step guides. I'm still working on guides. This will take me several months to complete this. So I'm going back in and adding in step-by-step lists for every single video I've done on YouTube. And there's a lot of videos to go back and do all that on. So that's kind of a continuing project. And of course, I'll be working on and adding to the PSE Coach all the time, every month anyway, as new things are done, new things come in. But that's right here. It's the new Photo Coach for Adobe Photoshop Elements. Two ways to use this. One is to look at the drop-down list right-hand side. Here's our filters. Go down, find the filter you want to find out about, such as the high pass filter. Click on that. And you then get a step-by-step list or instructions on how to use that particular filter. And every filter is in here. I've done all of those. So again, very, very useful, especially if you're working with video training on YouTube or my video training, wherever it is, and you have more in-depth questions that aren't answered in the video, just pop over here and take a look at that, and you'll find all the information that you need to know about that. And there's some fun things in here. Something else which I've added in, a question I've had a few times, and that's on blend modes. And I've gone through and I've added in a list of every single blend mode and what that blend mode does. Again, it's divided in here by the different sections and what each one of those blend modes does. A nice little useful tool, little reference in here if you like using blend modes like I do. So there you go. That's the HTG Photo Coach for Photoshop Elements. The reason why it's for Photoshop Elements is because I'll be doing a different Photo Coach for different programs like Lightroom, Affinity Photo, and so forth in the future. If you want to find out more about this, I have a couple of links in the description. One is going right to the page for this, and the second one is to a video I've already done showing you more about how this works. Okay, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Take a look at my new HTG Photo Coach, and I'll see you next time.